impacted by PURA syndrome. Our core values, respect, everyone is valued. Community, everyone belongs. Teamwork, which is something that we've really made one of our very high values, is working in conjunction with the foundation, the families, our clinicians, and researchers, and seeing them all as one. Continuity, which is planned for the future of growth and change, and responsibility, so ethics and governance. We have an incredibly dedicated board of directors that works tirelessly to help us accomplish our goals. As presidents, Eva and I are so proud of the positive team culture and collaborative team spirit that has been built amongst our board. I would like each of our board members present to stand, and our research liaison, Jim Legowski, also, so we can give a silent applause, please. So Jim, Nancy, it's over here, Eva Kate, and Melissa. Thank you. Thank you. This group truly embodies the core values of our foundation. So this job is by no means easy, but we always come back to the big picture when hard decisions arise. We are not afraid to admit when we don't know what we don't know, and we seek out trusted advice, whether it be legal, clinician, or other rare disease organizations faced with similar challenges. So when we navigate these challenges, we always ask, what is best for our PURA community? And all our decisions are made with the best interests of the PURA families in mind. So I'm now going to pass it on to Eva.
Hi, everyone. As Liz said, I'm going to go through some high-level updates on what the PURA Syndrome Foundation has been up to over the past year and what we have planned over the coming months to further our mission. And it falls in these key areas. Next slide, please. With the exception of our beloved board member, Damon Fisher, who's not here with us today, who's been around since the beginning, the rest of us have joined the board just in the last 2 years, previously volunteering in other capacities. All of us hit the ground running, making various contributions, and took on a steep learning curve in picking up the torch from those who served before us to understand all the various facets of research and the intricacies of leading a patient advocacy organization. As a board, we realized we needed to take inventory of where we're at and find alignment amongst the group on where we're going. So last fall, we started a strategic planning process that took several months to complete. We started by identifying the key pillars of the foundation that we felt we needed to focus on to ensure not only that we are fulfilling our mission, but also ensuring the long-term sustainability of the organization. Then we agreed on our top-level goals in each area that serve as our guiding beacons in decision-making and finding focus. Some of you may be familiar with what's called a SWOT analysis. This is where we took a hard look at our strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities in each area, along with the threats that could prevent us from reaching our goals. Next slide, please. These are our key pillars and top-level goals: financial sustainability, family support, infrastructure and process, research, registry, biobank, data, and marketing and communications. While the registry and biobank are part of research, we learned how vitally fundamental they are to rare disease research and in creating clinical guidelines for doctors to understand how to care for people with PURA syndrome. Also for us as parents to know what to expect and or watch out for as we care for and advocate for our children. And those are why those got pillars of their own outside our general research bucket. The next step of our process was of developing action steps. This is an overview of our sort of high-level action steps. We're working to strengthen our infrastructure through better organization, systems, and tools to make us more efficient and ensure better long-term continuity. As we've mentioned, there's been some turnover on the board over the years, so we want to make sure that our data and all of our files and systems are in a good place so that we're not moving backwards when we have to switch over to new people. We're bolstering our fundraising and grant programs to ensure financial sustainability, building new and nurturing existing partnerships to push research to the next level, strengthening the support of our registry and biobank, which, as I said, is fundamental to research, and continuing to develop resources for families and we're looking to hire paid support to maintain it. Family support is a big part of our mission, and we'll go more in depth on this on Sunday. But one thing I want to note is something that we're particularly excited about is to announce at the conference our clinician directory. One of the biggest questions we get from new families is how to find doctors familiar with PURA syndrome. So we've been compiling a directory of doctors known to us that see multiple PURA patients and are experts in their specialties. This serves not only to help our community connect with care, but also to help clinicians connect with each other to better care for their patients and to support additional research. And again, we're going to be digging into all of these more deeper on Sunday. We see another key part of our role as the PURA Syndrome Foundation is to support collaboration and communication amongst the broad PURA community of families, researchers, and other organizations. We have been continuing to do more outreach to connect with anyone involved and to build relationships and open communication. We've also had to recognize we aren't the only kids on the block anymore, as other PURA syndrome organizations have formed over the past few years, including PURA Foundation Australia, GX Tomorrow, and PURA Foundation Deutschland. And this is one of those situations as an organization where we had to step back and agree on how we're going to approach this. We could have chose to view them as competition, but we made a conscious choice as a board to stick to our core values and ask what is best for the PURA community as a whole. And the conclusion was that any advancement in finding treatments for PURA is good for everyone. We're going to choose to maintain friendly relationships and build collaboration wherever possible. An example of that is the choice to use this conference as a platform to bring the community together. And so we invited all PURA organizations to present their own updates and participate in the conference. To keep ticket costs low as possible, we run these conferences at a financial loss. But again, our mission is what's most important. These conferences are the best way to bring families, doctors, and researchers together. And we are so happy to be back in person the last few years. Next, I'm going to share about some of our recent efforts in building partnerships. Our board has been increasing our networking efforts this past year, connecting with other rare disease organizations, increasing awareness of PURA syndrome, and meeting potential partners. I have to say, it felt like the heavens opened up to shine a light on a path, meeting these other groups who are on the same journey and experiencing the same challenges, just in different diseases. And we have learned so much from them. And we've also found exciting opportunities to join consortiums of rare diseases with similarities to PURA. We are definitely continuing to support PURA-specific research, but see the opportunity in getting more involved in broader research in areas such as neurodevelopment and epilepsy. Oh, yeah, next slide. Okay, sorry. We see an acknowledged interest among the PURA families in drugs pyridostigmine and recognize the challenges not only for families, but for doctors in knowing whether to try it or not, what dosage to use, etc. So we've taken steps to pull together the necessary partners and resources to develop clinical guidelines on usage of these drugs of interest for people with PURA syndrome. And so we're really looking forward to bringing together the partners and resources that are needed over the coming year to get some clinical guidelines together. Next slide, please. We recently became members of the Rare Epilepsy Network. We hope this partnership will help connect our community with the latest research in epilepsy, access to resources in clinical trials, and opportunities to advocate for research funding and issues important to people with epilepsy and their families. In a short time, we've already been able to participate in multiple advocacy initiatives to support additional funding and research on epilepsy here in the US, and we'll be working with them to bring more epilepsy-related resources to our community over the coming months. We've recently connected with the Broad Institute out of Harvard and MIT, who are analyzing data across almost 1 million. Oh, next slide, please. Got it. Okay. We've recently connected with the Broad Institute out of Harvard and MIT, who are analyzing data across almost 1 million genetic tests to help better understand the prevalence of rare diseases. While there are 650 people with PURA syndrome known worldwide, we have strong reason to believe that there are many more than that, and look forward to what we can learn from this partnership. Next slide. Some of the advice we've heard from multiple sources is try to get young researchers and doctors interested in PURA early in their careers. Our new partnership with the Orphan Disease Center at University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine can help us do just that, as well as to do additional fundraising and further develop our research grant program. Some of the programs that we're going to participate in is they have a genetic counseling exchange program that matches genetic students on projects. They have a program within their university with rare disease interest groups that can connect us with medical students. And they have a $1 million bike ride program that helps fundraise and create research grant programs. So we're excited to see where this partnership goes. This list doesn't represent any formal partnerships as of yet, but it's a snapshot of some of the organizations we've connected with over the past few months, and we'll see where things go. As mentioned before, we have become keenly aware of how vital and fundamental our patient registry is. Dr. Hunt's going to talk more about it tomorrow. The foundation has made this a big part of our 10 years of PURA campaign, with the goal to reach 100 completed registrations by October. So you're going to continue to hear a lot about this from us. We know it can be a challenge to fill out. Oh, not yet. We know it can be a challenge to fill out and recently launched a scheduling tool to sign up for one-on-one support with the registry with our research nurse, Tessie, and the new volunteer, Lynn, who's a research nurse as well as a PURA aunt. Next slide. More advice we received is about the importance of having a scientific advisor working with the foundation. This is intended to be someone who can complement our global research network by helping us as a foundation look at the entire research landscape to identify gaps where we can strategically put resources to help move research forward. This will be a key part of building a more robust research grant funding program. And we're going to continue to do our best to work in collaboration and open communication with other PURA organizations as we go down this path. Unfortunately, there have been many delays in launching our biobank, but we can now say that we can see the finish line in sight. It will be connected with the registry, and it will store tissue and cell samples for people with PURA that can be requested by researchers around the world to study PURA. Dr. Hunt's going to be talking more about this tomorrow. You'll be hearing more about this soon from us on steps to submit your samples. As Liz mentioned, we recently had a meeting of our Global Research Network. This is the foundation's core research partners, many who've been studying PURA for over a decade. It was a closed-door meeting. They're a very tightly knit group who shares their findings and information, some that hasn't been published yet. It was a great meeting, but we are planning on holding a larger meeting in the fall to include researchers not currently in our GRN and our new clinician network. So this is a key thing that the foundation is doing, is hosting these research meetings to bring researchers together to share information. All right, so looking at fundraising, a low for last year was our donations were down. They were at our lowest level since 2016. So we're working on steps to remedy that and to put more focus on fundraising this year. Next slide. So you'll see flyers in your bags and signs around. We're launching our Together for PURA campaign, commemorating a decade since discovery and propelling forward into the future. And we'd love for you all to get involved. There's a way to start a fundraising team. You can donate an item to the auction or just make a donation. We're looking to raise money and with culminating at our 10-year anniversary in October. And we hope you all get involved. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Liz.
Okay, so we're not afraid to admit when we don't know something, and we're also not afraid to beg. So we need volunteers. I realize that as a caregiver, it's extremely hard to have the time to volunteer. So if you're not able to give of your time, we're asking that you think of those around you who may not have direct responsibility caring for someone and have them send them our way, please. There's signups in the back of, right under that PURA Syndrome Foundation sign. So send your friends or you could send your friends or family members to our volunteer page on the website. Can you split the slide? Sorry. Okay, sorry, this is the right one. So there's sign up sheets. So we're starting to get into more and more advocacy with that. Was it the Rare Epilepsy Network? The Rare Epilepsy Network has afforded us the opportunity to get involved with advocacy. And there's a number of parents that are interested in helping with advocacy. So if you're interested, there's a page for that. Sign up. Our PURA Foundation board, there are still some empty seats on our board that we're looking to fill. So if you have any interest in joining the board, that's over there. You'll hear about this a little bit more on Sunday, but we just launched our sibling outreach. So Chrissy is always looking for people to help with that. Fundraising is another thing that we are in need of help with. Our conference committee every year, marketing, social media. And then there's also a page over there that is just you tell us, what can you help us with? What talents do you have? Anything that you can think of that you can offer, we will be willing to listen. So I beg that you take a moment and think about it and think about the people in your life that might have the time to help volunteer and, either have them sign up over there or send them to our volunteer page where they can fill out an online form and it comes right to me. So, and I will follow up. And lastly, next slide, please. Our door is always open. Please, if you have any questions, comments, anything, concerns, please email president@purasyndrome.org. It comes to both Eva and I, and we will address it. So I want to thank you for your time. Yeah, does anyone have any questions right now? Fine. All right, well, we're around all weekend. Anything online, Nancy? No? Okay, great. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pass it on to Mary Duffy. I'm going to introduce her, but we're going to take a slight 5-minute break or so. What Mary's going to be talking about is a bit of a sensitive topic. So we want to give people the opportunity, if you'd like to go over to the reception a little early and take a break, that would be fine. But I want to give you a couple minutes. So with that, I'm going to invite Mary Duffy to come up. So